Hi there, listeners! Welcome to my discussion. This is Angeline Loria, your reporter for today. So, we will be having a lecture discussion about legal foundation, special needs, and inclusive education. So, but before we finally proceed, I have a question. So, why is it important for us to know or understand the legal basis of inclusive education? I want to know what is your point of view regarding to my question. Just comment down below in the comment section. So, well, for me, it's important for us to be knowledgeable on the legal basis because it serves as guide to the teacher on how to properly deal with students. Legal bases are rules that impose limits on both the teachers and the students to avoid situation in which the right of both parties are violated. Understanding this legal foundation can assist us in determining what the teacher is required to accomplish or vice versa. So let's proceed. Inclusive education focuses from the view of disability that results in how to cope from the interaction between the person with disabilities. Meaning to say, it is about the connection between the person who has disability to the environment he or she is in. The next one is look on the necessary adjustments to the learning community and will develop or enhance a teaching strategy involving person with disabilities. So given that the person has a disability, so ano yung dapat nating gawin? And there is a part of education, or I mean the word education there, meaning there is an academic involved. What should an institution do in order to give the student the appropriate learning, the appropriate education that they need to take? So there are a lot of legal bases we have here. So I just want to, of course, get the key idea for each of the act. Okay, the Republic Act that we have here and even in the Philippine Constitution. The first one, we have the 1987 Philippine Constitution. The state shall promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. The state shall, so this one, maintain a system of free public education in elementary and in high school, without limiting the natural right of parents to rear their children. Elementary education and compulsory for all children of school age. So that is why meron tayong public school, so that everyone will be able to learn. It is education for all after all, diba? And then encourage non-formal, informal, indigenous learning system, as well as learning, self-learning, independent, and out-of-school study programs, particularly those that respond to community needs. So any way of learning is being encouraged. The state shall provide adult citizens, the disabled, and out-of-school youth with training in civics, occasional efficiency, and other skills. So they should give efficient and effective type of programs and education for this type of students that we have. So that is for the 1987 Constitution. You take note of that. So how about Enhanced Basic Education Act? This is where the K-12 comes in, because when Pinoy already gave us this 10533, it is the K-12 version. They also include programs for gifted and talented, programs for learners and disabilities, madrasa program, indigenous peoples education program, programs for learners under difficult circumstances. And not only those students who are maybe like physical, mental, are included under inclusive education. Also, those students under the difficult circumstances. And according to this act, they stated that we should provide them something inclusivity in order to still continue quality education we are looking for. So the Republic Act 8371, Indigenous Peoples' Right, an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities, indigenous peoples, creating a national commission on indigenous peoples, establishing implementing mechanism, appropriating funds, therefore, and for other purposes. Of course, this is all about indigenous people, like giving them a right, okay, to perform and to have an equality. An equal opportunity is still like participating programs to have this type of education, and walang discrimination should be heightened. The Child and Youth Welfare Code. Rights of the child. All children shall be entitled to the rights herein set forth without distinction as to legitimacy and illegitimacy, sex, social status, religion, political antecedents, and other factors. So, of course, a child youth, from the word itself, the PD 603 is all about that. So, the children or the child and youth is the highlight for this legal basis, where yung parents has a big role in terms of giving the welfare to the students. So ayan. So the Republic Act 7610 is special protection against child abuse and exploration. We have here, of course, those who are being abused, women and special child. So for example, yung bata under 18 is being pushed na magtrabaho. And of course, it will fall under Republic Act 7610. The next one is the Republic Act 9344, Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act. It is an act establishing a comprehensive juvenile justice and welfare system, creating the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Council under the Department of Justice, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. This one, it prevents a student, not really students, a person that has a special need to go to jail as much as possible. They wanted it to be in a certain place, not really in jail, like you see here, title 3, prevention of juvenile delinquency. So for example, the person with the disability commits a crime, so maybe a murder. So somehow they need adjustments for them because maybe their his or her mental health has something. So they make further investigation regarding that. So somehow this act protect those kind of person. The next one is the Republic Act 10665, Open High School System Act. An act establishing the open high school system in the Philippines and appropriating funds therefore. Is for those adults who wanted to continue education. So, okay, even though they are still working to overcome personal, geographical, socioeconomic, and physical constraints. So since it is stated in our 1987 Constitution that we encourage non-formal, informal, indigenous learning system, even the Open High School System. Even the Open High School System Act is the one who helps it. So we have here the Republic Act 9442, the Magna Carta Disabled Person. So it means that the privilege of the disabled person, the most common privilege are the scholarship grants, financial aids, like if you have this PWD ID, you have these discounts, right? And yun, so that's the Magna Carta. So the last one we have the Republic Act 7277, Rehabilitation and Integration of Disabled Person in Mainstream Society. So it is an act providing for the rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled person and their integration into the mainstream society and for other purposes. This is more of putting a mainstreaming in the education. That's why it is included here: special education, state universities, and colleges. So this is where they open the constitution and the college to accept even these students with additional needs. Okay, so let's move on to the typologies of learners with special needs. Now, it is time for us to clarify these students with special needs. It's important to know that there are a lot, or there are various types of students with special needs, because if we know where they are coming from, somehow we will be able to determine how to build with them and how to make them adjust with the classroom we set in. So we have here 4 categories of special needs according to Garcia 2018. First, we have the physical needs. For example, allergies and asthma. Allergies are common and often come from environmental factors like pollen count or food sensitive. Acute allergies may produce a hypersensitive reaction, also known as anaphylaxis. Asthma is a condition where the airway become inflamed, swelling and constricting, and producing excess mucus, making breathing difficult. So I think you are somehow familiar with this, and they are hard to breathe even when they eat food. They have allergies and it hinders them for attending class. Maybe for some, they just think that this is just an asthma, like it will just be for a while, but no, it's very hard. Okay, their situation is different. So let's jump to another slide. We have here the developmental needs. Delays in development are typically apparent very early in life, but some aren't obvious until a person reaches a certain level in their education. Early intervention is key for managing a developmental special need. So when we talk about developmental, it is more of the delays in the way they learn. So physical is more likely the physiological, like yung muscles, the outside. Pero yung developmental, more about of the learning. Yung brain, how our brain process. And autism is one of the best example for this one. Behavioral or emotional needs. For example, eating disorder. For this, the way they behave. So, do you have someone who has this eating disorder? Abnormal eating habit. No, do not include here yung classmate natin na buraot. they are not included here. It's different. So for these students with eating disorder, those that are like anorexia, like they do not want to eat anything at all because they wanted to stay fit, so something like that. Or maybe you eat too much, like a lot. Anorexia is eating less and bulimia is eating more. So this is because they are having this something in their mind that makes them to do this, and it's hard for them to control it, and it's not easy. The last one, we have the sensory impaired special needs. Sight impaired, blindness and loss of sight. Hearing impaired, deafness and loss of hearing can affect the way an individual learns and processes. Sensory processing disorder. A person with this disorder has difficulty receiving and responding to information from the senses. Like something about the vision, hearing, smell, taste. So that it is hard for them to be like when they are exposed with light, they are too sensitive, or maybe too much noises irritates them. So that's it. Always remember, everyone is special. Some may just need a little or more assistance than the other. I am Miss Angeline, your reporter for this day. I hope that you learned something and it will be instilled in your mind. That's all, and have a great day. Thank you so much.